Hello, vinyl community. This is Rich at Embarrassment of Riches, and I'm finally home long enough to shoot a video. We came home from Paris a few days ago and almost immediately had time to do laundry and turn around the next day, drive all the way to Pittsburgh for what I thought was a comic book convention, but it wasn't really. There was some really good dealers there, and they had some good books, and I got a few, but it was mainly a celebrity autograph convention slash manga slash anime with a whole lot of horror fans thrown in. So not really my thing, but I did get like 10 really good books. That'll be another video because nobody really cares about comic book videos. But Paris. Paris was awesome and it was way better than last time. We went last year and really didn't know our way around, and my wife didn't know as much French then as she does now. I'm relying on French from 35 years ago in high school, and it's not good. So this time we went and stayed at a better part of the city to navigate ourselves through. We rode the metro. That's fun. We rode buses, and we took an out of city train to go to see the cathedral at Chartres. It was a lot of fun, but my mind was on records. So I think I'll start with I had a complaint last year that I went to two or three record stores and they had nothing or were not willing to help. So all the time I spent there last year, I bought one record and I keep it aside as a thing, a thing that reminds me of the trip. It's a record store day, like when the Bunnymen live in Liverpool 2001. Yeah, I could have got this in the States, but I just wanted to come back with something. So it left me thinking that there might not be really great record stores in Paris. And so for this trip, I did a bit more research. And by a bit, I mean, I finally did some. And I had a list of maybe 10 stores to go to when we got there. And I knew we wouldn't get to 10 because I don't think my wife has that much patience for my bullshit. So we really narrowed it down to just who was open that day, and we could get there in a decent amount of time. And the one we ended up going to was about a 45-minute bus ride out of the center of the city, and that's a long bus ride with a lot of stops and a lot of people right up on you, and everybody smokes. So yeah, it smelled kind of funky in there. But after all the connections and everything, we get to the record store. And that's what this whole video is going to be about, and the next one, because I did really well there. It was probably one of the best record stores I've ever been to. And certainly nearly every album there would be an import to me, being from the States. So whatever they had that was a UK press or a European press was new to me, basically, because of the prohibitive costs of getting imports in the States. And I did pretty well. I blew past my budget the first visit we were there. And it's a very small store, and I only went through half of the store and blew my budget. And we got back to the hotel, and I was fondling my records and just cackling with glee. And it hit me over the next 24 to 36 hours that there's a whole another half of that store that I left untouched. And it began to haunt me a bit because I'm obsessive like that. And my wife, my incredibly kind wife, said, well, let's just go back and see what the other half of the store had. And it had just as much cool shit. And I got another stack, and really the budget was out the window at this point. I mean, I didn't go stupid hog wild, but spent more than I intended to. And it was a good time. It was one of the better record stores. Like I said, one of the better ones I'd ever been to. And the guy that worked there was very helpful, very kind. And it's a small enough store that you can only get a couple people in there anyway. And I was lucky enough that while I was there, I was mainly the only person there. And he was very helpful because I am disabled. I can't get on the floor and dig through the crates like other people can. It's just a fucking no starter. Like, it's not happening. He was kind enough to flip through everything on the floor and pull out the records that I was interested in. We would talk about price, we would talk about packaging and getting a deal for the whole thing. It was really cool. And this is going to be part one of what I brought home. So thanks for watching, and here we go. First up, it's European pressing, Happy Mondays, Pills, Thrills, and Belly Aches, one of my favorite records from that era. And yeah, it's, I might not have mentioned, I got about, I don't know, 20 records, and every single one of them is in VG Plus near mint. Um, like the vinyl is insanely clean. This guy does not deal in bad vinyl. And I should mention the store. It's called Record Station, and it's a bit out of on the outskirts of Paris. But if you get there, it is worth your trip. And tell Quentin I said hi. That dude was really helpful and really kind, and I am going to go back to that store first every time I go back to Paris. Like first dibs is going to go to whatever he has in stock. And this one still bumps. I mean, they were a badass band. As trippy and as like stonerific as the music could be, they were definitely solid. I kind of wish I had seen them live in their heyday, but they didn't do a lot of shows in the early 90s in the States. So I really missed out. The next pickup is Prince's first album, For You. Classic, and one that has eluded me in the States. I cannot find a good copy for a price that I'm willing to pay. It just seems insane to overpay for something like this. So I kind of put it off, and it is one of the few from his discography that I am missing. So it was kind of nagging at me a bit there. But I ended up getting this. It's a German OG press. Again, near mint, beautiful condition on the vinyl. It sounds so smooth. And yeah, price is right. I'm going to grab it. Moving along. If you've watched the channel before at all, or if you know me at all, you know I won't shut up about the Smiths. It's not very likely to happen. But I was missing a few of their records. European presses or, UK presses. I have everything in American press by now, but not original. This is an OG European pressing of this classic. It's got the gatefold with the beautiful picture inside. Original sleeve, Alain Delon. It's a brilliant record, and it's not the only Smiths record that I bought at that store. I'm telling you, it's like Christmas in there. It was awesome. My favorite Genesis record, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Again, if you've watched this at all, you know what a Peter Gabriel fan I am. And this, I believe, is their best record, their last one with him. But I have a lot. I probably have 4 or 5 of these, and maybe 2 OGs, a couple represses. But this is an OG European press. Original inner sleeves. Everything is beautiful. Oh, just awesome to have. And a little more digging led to another one of my all-time favorite records, Graceland from Paul Simon. This is the South African press with the alternate cover. And I have a few of these, but of that time, this is probably, to me, the best sounding vinyl. There was not a lot of really great sounding albums coming out at the time this was released. And this one still sounds pristine. It's really great to have. Yep. Susie and the Banshees. Once Upon a Time, the singles. I am a mediocre Susie fan up until rather recently. Just casually perused the catalog, and not a couple weeks ago started listening a little more solid and really enjoying it. This is the only Susie I have, and if you're gonna have any artist and you're gonna start collecting them, the greatest hits or the singles collection to me is the best way to start. You get a nice fillet of what they can do, and this is a German original press of this release, and it's incredible. Here we have Boys Don't Cry from The Cure, original English pressing of this classic in damn near mint condition on the vinyl. It is so glossy, there is no evidence that a stylus ever drove through any of those grooves. This thing is a dream, and the price was perfect, and I am so glad to have it. And it's not the only Cure record that I got on this trip. I got a few repeat artists on this trip. Depeche Mode Black Celebration, original European pressing. Beautiful condition, the embossed cover. I have this in a rather beat up condition before this one, so this is an upgrade for the collection. And oh my god, so beautiful. It sounds so great. I'm really showing my age with all these fucking records, without a doubt. Like they're all 70s, 80s records, man. I'm not doing too well for heading for the youth market. So that was part one of my Paris trip and my record grabbing that I did there. And I want to thank everybody for watching. I also want to thank everybody who wished me well on the trip, and it's very appreciated. And although I didn't walk around with the selfie stick with the gimbal built on, because I saw a few people doing that, and I'm like, this fucking guy. I didn't want to be that fucking guy. So there's not a lot of footage of me record shopping. But my wife was kind enough to take a few pictures. I'll probably slip them in here. But this is the end of part one. I'm trying to keep these short, and part two will be coming soon. So thanks for watching.